Gentle parenting does not work.
I thought we were in a hurry. If you rush children, it makes them anxious.
My kids beat me up. They beat me up.
All right, so today's topic is sort of a continuation of a previous video talking about Gen Z or iPad kids being an absolute horror in schools especially. Today we're going to be talking about gentle parenting, what it is and how it seems to be enabling this kind of behavior we've all most likely seen in public, whether we're at a store or a restaurant or something like that, and looking over and seeing a family have an absolute meltdown with a child. Part of the inspiration of me making this video is having my own story that I just saw yesterday at Walmart, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Today we're going to be looking at some clips and experiences from parents along with some of your comments from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave it in the comments down below. But we're going to start off with a little skit. If you've never heard of gentle parenting before, it is in the end supposed to be funny, but definitely does have some truth to it.
Be careful.
We don't say be careful anymore. Instead say, what's your plan here?
I don't even know my plan. Do you know your plan?
Don't stop. Hit your sister. Don't say stop, say gentle.
Gentle what?
Gentle hands.
Gentle hands is gentle.
Everything. Gentle everything.
I am so proud of you.
You're not supposed to tell kids you're proud of them anymore.
Why not?
Well, that's putting the focus on you.
What?
I'm so proud. Don't say that.
What should I say instead?
You should be so
I
proud.
am so
No,
proud.
it's back on you again.
Hurry up, we gotta go.
Don't rush. We're fine. Don't rush her. Fine.
I thought we were in a hurry.
If you rush children, it makes them anxious. No hurry. You always rushed us, and I'm anxious.
Never rushed you. We were always late.
Exactly. And I was anxious because we were always late.
What am I supposed to say then?
Gentle.
This way. Good job.
Good choice.
Thank you.
No, say good choice.
Watch out.
Do you feel safe here?
I don't feel safe about any of this.
So I mean, it really does seem straightforward, even though this was a skit. We could take a look at some of the comments. The number one complaint of daycare providers is gentle parenting. I'm feeling anxious after observing the gentle parenting. Now, for how ridiculous this sounds, and it just feels like it was part of the skit, one of the previous comments talking about iPad kids was a current teacher not teaching her own son how to hold a pencil correctly because it would stress the kid out. What is my response supposed to be to that? If that's supposed to be okay in parenting nowadays, I'm just going to sound like an old person and say the younger generation is doomed. Basically, like every generation has said about the newest version. But we have even more comments. High school teacher here, the gentle parenting is what got me trying to retire early. A lot of comments like that we saw in the last video. And a comment from one of you guys I think goes pretty well on top of it. A generation that has never been told no, basically. This is in the same vein of everybody getting a participation trophy, even though there's most of the time only one winner, and we are so into talking about our feelings and how we feel about every single situation that now even teaching the basics to children to survive in life could give them anxiety, and I just don't want to put that on my child. It basically does sound like I'm just making this up, but we could start seeing the consequences for these gentle parents and what the kids will end up doing when they know they could completely run over you.
Gentle parenting does not work. Check it out.
Hey, no, hands are not for hitting. Hands are not for hitting. I don't like that. Are you ready to be nice?
Gentle parenting wants to be authoritative parenting so bad, and authoritative parenting would never allow a child to hit, scratch, grab, or grab objects and hit their mom in the head with it. Being gentle in these moments is not appropriate because you have been gentle and it's only getting worse. So you need to be stern and show them that what they are doing is not okay. I mean, unless you want to get phone calls from the school, from the teachers, be talked about by other kids' parents because your kid doesn't keep their hands to themselves, they hit, they scratch and throw things in the classroom, because what your daughter does at home, she will definitely do in the classroom. Maybe you repeating that hands aren't for hitting, hands aren't for hitting, hands aren't for hitting, probably isn't working, so probably give her other options. Do you want a pressure hug? Do you want to bite into a pillow? Do you want to squeeze something? Like, instead of hitting your mom. Gentle parenting is trashy parenting.
I think myself, along with many other people, would know the consequences for hitting your own mother when you were a child, but now it just turns into recording yourself being beat by your child and saying, no, I don't like that. Hands aren't for hitting, as you're repeatedly getting hit. How is that not embarrassing as a parent? And then the second half of the video I agree with as well. If this is happening at home, then this child is going to be completely fine being an absolute horror in school. If she could get away with this with her parents when she's in a room full of strangers and other kids who basically won't even say the bare minimum that their parents are saying with the "no, stop hitting, I don't like that," they're just going to be an absolute menace. We have another comment from one of you guys. Parents don't seem to realize that schools teach information, parents teach behavior. And I just don't see how any of these types of clips work.
Hey baby, sit down please. Sit down please. Sit down please. Please sit down. Sit the down!
Very interesting to see how fast the kids switch up as soon as you're not a passive parent. I do also want to add in here, while I was editing this video, I don't think it's a good idea to constantly yell and beat your kids, of course. But when you try to be their friend instead and reason with them, kids will still take advantage. Even though they are young, they're a lot smarter than you think and will constantly push the boundaries of what they could get away with. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I have my own story just from yesterday. I was out at Walmart shopping, and they have like the rows of all the self-checkouts, so you're next to everybody else who is shopping at the store. I'm just scanning my stuff out and I see this little girl come up right next to me and start grabbing the candy that's on the shelves. And I kid you not, the mother came up and did exactly what the last clip was. Please put it back. Please put it back. It sounded like a broken record. I swear she must have said it 6 or 7 times in the same exact manner. The kid ended up having a meltdown right in front of me, screaming and crying, and then they ended up buying the candy for the kid. So what kind of precedent does that set for the child? I would guess the kid was probably around 4 or 5 years old, little kid. So in their mind now, throwing a temper tantrum and completely ignoring the mom with basically no consequences at all is how they get stuff. I can't imagine what teachers are going to deal with those types of kids. And this could start getting exponentially worse. I'm not cherry picking one single video I found off of TikTok. There are many like this.
And I never even talked back to my mom growing up, and if I ever did, oh my gosh. My kids beat me up. They beat me up. My 7 and my 5-year-old beat me. Today I was kicked in the chest, slapped in the face, and punched in the jaw for trying to get pants on a kid to go to school. The issue is, there was no discipline we're allowed to give back. I've tried timeouts. I've tried taking things away. I've tried removing all the screens from the house. I've tried taking away privileges. I've tried taking away extracurriculars. I've tried reasoning with them. I've tried putting in their rooms and taking everything out. I have tried reward systems. I have tried just telling them how much it hurts mommy's heart. But I'm still getting beaten every day, and not a little bit. Bruises on my back, punches in the face, slapped across the face, kicked in the mouth, head-butted, bit.
Could you imagine if you were trying to beat one of your parents back then? Again, I don't have to say it in this video, but we could check out some of the comments. I never laid a hand on my mom because I knew what would happen if I did. Well, there's your answer right there. And take all of these problems and then add on top of it giving them an iPad that they could infinitely watch YouTube Kids, or actually go on the internet. People give them TikTok and they could mindlessly scroll and watch whatever they want at an unbelievably young age. I mean, 2 and 3 year olds at a restaurant or out in public with full headphones on, staring at an iPad, completely zoned out of the whole world. And we have a comment from one of you guys talking about it. I work in a restaurant and interact with customers. I can instantly tell which kids were raised by iPads and which were raised by parents. I've had 4-year-olds tell me exactly what they want in their food, say please and thank you, make eye contact, when 10-year-olds can't even form a complete sentence, say please, or look at you in the eye. I sound so old for saying this, but I can assure you, I'm no more than a Gen Z, so am I. The best way I could describe it is surreal. So most of these absolute spaz kids losing their minds and having no repercussions are basically just being mellowed out by the same parents letting them do that because they gave them an iPad and now they could just sit and stare and watch some YouTuber play Minecraft for 8 hours a day and just completely stunting your social growth for the rest of your life. We're already having problems with this now, with people using their phones all day and night and being on the internet, but we're talking about people who are like 20, 25 and older, the millennials as well. So if we're giving these kids that same problem at a couple years old just to try to mellow them out because you don't know how to discipline them, you know how much worse this is going to get in the next couple decades?
So this is what I get from my grandkids and my nieces and my nephews when they come to the farm and they have to do other things other than their iPhone and their iPad. All they do is cry because they want their iPhone, they want their iPad. There's other things to do in the world other than iPhone and iPad, believe it or not. Life isn't interrupting your iPhone and your iPad time. Life is supposed to be lived, and then you get to use your iPhone and your iPad once in a while when you've finished doing a task.
We could look at some of the comments here. This is why we won't be giving our kids one to start off with. I'm not doing these battles. As a mom, I feel this. Our current world doesn't allow parents to be outside with their kids. We're working 2 to 3 jobs. It's not all parents' faults. Now, I do get that. It's increasingly more difficult to have just a normal traditional marriage where maybe one of the parents stay home and the other one's 100% of the breadwinner. You'd spend a lot more time with your kids, obviously, and that's become so far out of reach for many. I get it. But then the solution is to just give them an iPad to be the parent 24/7, because in the same experiences we've all probably seen out in public, there will be children with their parents who are obviously not working, shopping at a store, something like that, staring at the iPad, watching some sort of kids show. So on top of it, you did buy the kid an iPad or some sort of tablet, give them absolutely no restrictions, and then they get really angry when they're actually told no and they're not allowed to use it. What am I supposed to say? 1000% agree. This generation is in serious trouble. Parents are to blame. Have the same issue within my family. Same thing here. It's an addiction. I would withhold all tech until teen years. I do think it's become that too, in the same way we've seen, people are addicted to posting stuff on Instagram, getting those likes and follows and feeling good about themselves. I mean, the dopamine hit. So we're having issues with that, and we're all, 20, 30, 40-year-olds. Imagine exposing the same exact thing to a 5-year-old. As they're growing up, they basically know nothing else but feeling good and staring at the screen nonstop, and anything else they just won't stand for because they don't feel as good. It honestly just sounds like a complete dystopia. But we're going to end off this video with a comment from you guys. Very simple. iPads are our generation's lead paint toys. Can't really argue with that, even though it sounds very odd that everything that I do to make money is all basically completely online, and I talk about these videos in various different topics. But other than making these videos, I'm actually not on the internet nearly as much as you think, because I definitely know there's a certain period where I've been on the internet too much and I don't feel good. This is not how I should be feeling. But kids just won't have that thought process if that's all they've had for the entirety of their lives. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. That's all I got for you guys today. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.